Simon Keeling here at weatherweb.net. A very happy Boxing Day to you. It's Saturday the 26th of December. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget that if you want us to send you an email when this video is updated, just send us a blank email to generalweather-subscribe at weatherweb.net and we'll add you onto our list. Don't worry, we don't pass your emails on to anybody else. They stay with us. But it's a really handy way of you being able to know when we've updated the videos. Now, a mini soapbox moment, I think, just for what's happening right now in terms of news stories about El Nino. There's much talk, probably because there's nothing else to talk about on the news, about the impact El Nino is having on the weather here in the UK. It's really difficult to attribute individual weather events to El Nino, and it's long been established that El Nino has actually a very negligible effect on the weather here in the UK. It's long established research that's shown that. Probably what is true is that the atmosphere overall is warmer. Temperatures globally, as we've seen in recent videos, well above normal for the time of year, well above the average. And when you look at it, here's El Nino. So we've got warm water in here, we've got a warm Indian Ocean in here, we've got a warm Northern Pacific in here, and a relatively warm Atlantic as well. So lots of warm air around, which means that the air can hold moisture, or more moisture, in that warmer air. Of course, as Captain Bob has just been telling me, Captain Bob, our long-range forecast specialist, he was saying, of course, you need some cold air to be able to trigger the rainfall, and of course you do. You need that cold air coming in order to get the rainfall to trigger. So there is cooler air around. It's just that the globe is so warm at the moment, and I think that's probably far more of an impact rather than El Nino. It's just that El Nino is an easy one, isn't it, for the media to hook up to, because we can always imagine the El Nino, and they're talking about it being a phenomena. That implies that it's a rare thing. It's not a phenomena. It's a natural cycle. It's a natural part of the Earth's cycle. It occurs the same way as La Nina is likely to occur as we go through the middle to latter stages of this year, as this water in the Pacific turns to being cooler than normal. It's exactly the same effect. So it's not a phenomena. It's just perfectly normal weather cycles. What is notable is how warm things are generally in the atmosphere right at the moment. The MJO quickly showed you this just a few moments ago. It's this phase 1 that I'm particularly interested in. CFS getting us into phase 1 around about the 18th of January. We're getting the story developing here. This is a cold phase, and increasingly it's pushing this date forwards of when we get into phase 1 conditions. Our forecast said that we'd get a brief hit of cold early January, then we'd go milder again, and then we'd see a return to cold weather later on in the month. And CFS is starting to back that up. I don't think it's there on the dates just yet, but certainly I think the overall story is there. You can see that cooler weather as well developing. If I just show you these charts, this is the pressure charts from the GFS. This is Tuesday. So what I want you to notice here is the strength of the winds that really get going. Of course, we've got the rainfall problems at the moment in the northwest. Red alerts out. It's going to continue raining for the next couple of days or so. More on that in the fast forecast. But just notice what happens here. This is Wednesday midnight. Some very strong winds coming across Scotland, across the western parts of the UK. On the 6 o'clock run of the GFS, not quite so strong as it was on the midnight run, but still very strong winds and some heavy rain again getting into western areas. That's New Year's Eve, and cooler air then arrives through New Year's Day. And if you just track back the isobars here, you can see that air originating up here across northern parts of Canada and the west of Greenland, where it's been cooler than usual. And what we're going to find is this cooler air coming in, and that's going to cause a certain dip in temperatures as we head into the New Year period. But it's not lasting long, because there's the 2nd of Jan. Incidentally, I don't think this chart will appear like this, but overall this idea of a brief southerly getting going again, and then probably the westerlies breaking through into the New Year week. So a brief hit of cool and then back into the mild conditions seems to be where the GFS takes us. Interesting, just look at the jet. Phenomenally strong jet stream, and I will use the word phenomenal with that coming off Greenland. This getting up to 230 knots plus. So hugely strong winds coming through Greenland. This is the chart for this afternoon. And in fact, that jet strengthens, as you can see. This is Monday. Look at the track on that jet, just pumping into this trough here, sharpening it all the time. And in return, that builds the ridge up here during the course of Monday. And then just notice heading through Monday night into Tuesday, that ridge is built in here. It's blocked off this cold air trying to get into here. The ridge is pumping northwards all the time. And then headed into Tuesday afternoon, jet breaks through the country. What we've got to watch for is this being further south through here. If that does get further south, then we get back to the widespread 70 to 80 mile an hour winds scenario. And by Tuesday evening, the jet's strongest off towards the west. And you notice there on Wednesday morning and into Wednesday evening, the jet is still with us. A real strong affair here. Maximum winds coming up here towards the UK and into the northern parts of Scotland. That's where the strongest of the winds are likely to be. But a real battle between this cold air out towards the west and the warmer air pumping up from the Mediterranean. That's what's establishing this pattern at the moment. And it's these sort of signs that signal a change in pattern, and that's exactly what we're watching for here at weatherweb.net. So I think we've got a change underway. I think we can talk about cooler weather. Yeah, maybe the latter stages of January before the real cold breaks through. But I still think we're going to get tasties before then. And with this sort of pattern setting up, the cold air is able now to get into the central Atlantic. That only has to move its way eastwards across the UK, and we're going to get days when we get cooler conditions. Snow showers, yeah, possible, even as far south as southern England. I think we're seeing the end game of these really strong westerlies heading into the new year. I think we see a modified pattern developing into the early stages of January. Okay, I'm going to leave you with that for now, but hopefully you'll have a wonderful Boxing Day evening. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to spread the word amongst your friends about weatherweb.net. Give us a share on Facebook or on Twitter. And thanks again for watching. Keep the sun shining, and bye for now.